Imagine waking up 10 years from today. You open your banking app and see that you've earned millions over the last decade. But then you look at your body, your relationships, your energy, your peace of mind, and you realize something terrifying. You became richer, but your life became poorer. Most people spend years learning how to make money. Very few learn how to spend it. And that's the real tragedy. Because the wrong purchase doesn't just cost you money. It quietly steals your time, your health, your opportunities, sometimes even your happiness. Now picture another person. They don't chase luxury for the sake of appearances. Instead, every expensive purchase solves a real problem. It saves them hours, protects their health, expands their thinking, or gives them something money usually can't buy back: freedom. Here's the irony. The cheapest choices often become the most expensive over time, while the smartest expensive decisions keep paying dividends long after you've forgotten what they cost. So before you buy your next car, your next phone, or anything with a flashy price tag, watch this until the end. Because the final investment on this list isn't something you can hold in your hands. Yet it might be the most valuable thing you'll ever own. Number 1. A quality mattress. Imagine buying a brand new luxury car. Now imagine parking it outside every night, in the rain, without ever maintaining it. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Yet millions of people do something even worse. They spend years taking care of everything around them, while neglecting the one thing that carries them through every single day: their body. And every night, they ask that body to recover on a cheap, worn-out mattress. Here's something most people never think about. If you sleep 8 hours a night, you'll spend nearly 1/3 of your life on your mattress. That's not just furniture. That's where your brain resets, where your muscles recover, where your immune system repairs itself, where tomorrow's energy is created. A bad mattress doesn't just make you tired. It makes every decision harder. You become less patient, less focused, less creative. Small problems feel bigger because your body never fully recovered from yesterday. Think of sleep like charging your phone. If it only reaches 40% every night, you'll spend the entire day searching for a charger. Your body works the same way. A quality mattress isn't expensive because it's luxurious. It's valuable because it improves thousands of mornings you'll experience over the next decade. And once you realize that, the next investment becomes impossible to ignore. Because even perfect sleep means very little if your health is quietly slipping away. Number 2. Good health. Imagine two people. One has endless free time, a beautiful home, a successful career, but they're constantly battling illness. The other has far less money, yet wakes up with energy, strength, and the freedom to move without pain. Who is truly wealthy? We often treat health like oxygen. We don't appreciate it until we struggle to breathe. Here's what makes health different from almost every other investment. You can't buy it overnight. You build it one decision at a time. The healthy meal instead of the convenient one. The walk instead of another hour on the couch. The annual checkup instead of waiting until something feels wrong. Most people think these are expenses. They are not. They're insurance policies for your future. Picture your body as a bank account. Every workout is a deposit. Every nutritious meal earns interest. Every hour of quality sleep compounds quietly in the background. But poor habits do the opposite. They charge interest too, just in a direction you don't want. And here's the part that nobody likes to hear. No amount of money can fully compensate for years of neglected health. The world's most expensive hospital room still isn't as valuable as waking up healthy. Because when your health disappears, every other goal gets placed on hold. And once you understand that, you'll begin seeing experiences differently. Not as luxuries, but as investments in the person you're becoming. Number 3. Travel experiences. Most people think travel is about escaping. But the best trips don't help you escape your life. They help you see it differently. Imagine standing on a mountain you've only seen in photographs, walking through streets where nobody speaks your language, watching a sunset from a place you once believed you'd never visit. Something unexpected happens. Your world becomes bigger, and your problems become smaller. Travel has a strange way of exposing assumptions you didn't even know you had. You discover new cultures, new ways of thinking, new definitions of success. You meet people who are happy with less, and others who have everything but still feel empty. Suddenly, comparison starts losing its grip, because you realize there's more than one way to live a meaningful life. The souvenirs eventually gather dust. The photos get buried in your phone. But the perspective stays. Years later, you may forget the hotel room, but you'll never forget the conversation that changed the way you see the world. Experiences have something possessions never will. They become part of your identity. Nobody can steal them. Markets can't crash them. Time only makes them more valuable. And speaking of building a better life, sometimes the smartest investment isn't in seeing more of the world. It's in creating a place where you actually want to spend your time. Number 4. A home gym. Here's a question. How many workouts have been skipped? Not because people were lazy, but because getting to the gym felt like too much work? Traffic, crowds, waiting for equipment, finding parking. The motivation slowly disappears before the workout even begins. Now imagine waking up, walking a few steps, and your workout is already waiting for you. No excuses, no commute, no wasted time. A home gym isn't about replacing a commercial gym. It's about removing friction. Because success rarely depends on having more motivation. It depends on making good decisions easier. Even a simple setup, a bench, a pair of adjustable dumbbells, resistance bands, maybe a pull-up bar, can completely change your consistency. And consistency is where transformation lives. One workout changes very little. 1,000 workouts change your life. Think about it. Your body doesn't care whether you exercised in a luxury fitness club or your garage. It only responds to repetition. The real luxury isn't expensive equipment. It's having no excuse left between you and your goals. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because the next investment doesn't happen in the gym. It happens every single time you sit down at the dinner table. Number 5. High-quality food. Imagine buying a luxury sports car and filling it with the cheapest fuel you can find. No matter how powerful the engine is, sooner or later, it begins to struggle. Now ask yourself, why do we expect our own bodies to perform any differently? Every morning, your brain makes thousands of decisions. Your heart never takes a day off. Your muscles repair themselves while you sleep. Every cell in your body is constantly rebuilding. And every single one of them is built from what you eat. Here's something most people never realize. Food isn't just fuel. It's information. Every meal sends a message to your body. Either grow stronger or just survive. The cheapest meal often satisfies your hunger. The right meal fuels your future. Think about the days when you've eaten fresh, balanced food. Your mind feels clearer. Your energy lasts longer. You don't crash halfway through the afternoon. Now compare that to a day built on processed snacks and sugary drinks. The difference isn't just physical. It's mental. It's emotional. It's productive. People often complain that healthy food is expensive. But hospital bills are more expensive. Years of low energy are more expensive. Missing opportunities because your body can't keep up. That's expensive. The truth is, you're paying either way. You can invest in nutrition now, or spend far more trying to repair the damage later. Because every bite is a vote for the person you'll become tomorrow. And speaking of buying back your future, the next investment doesn't give you more money. It gives you something even more valuable. More time. Number 6. Time-saving tools. There is one resource that every billionaire, every athlete, every student, and every parent receives in exactly the same amount. 24 hours. Not 25. Not 26. Just 24. Money can be earned again. Time cannot. Yet most people think twice before spending money to save hours they'll never get back. Imagine spending 15 minutes every day on a task that could be automated. 15 minutes doesn't sound like much. Until it becomes 90 hours a year. That's nearly 4 entire days. Gone. Now multiply that across 5, 10, 20 different tasks. Suddenly, you're not saving minutes. You're reclaiming pieces of your life. A robot vacuum. A dishwasher. A faster computer. Software that automates repetitive work. Even paying someone to handle tasks that don't require your unique skills. These aren't signs of laziness. They're signs that you understand opportunity cost. Every hour spent doing low-value work is an hour you couldn't spend learning, building, creating, or simply being present with the people you love. Think of time like water leaking from a bucket. One tiny hole doesn't seem dangerous, but dozens of small leaks eventually leave the bucket empty. The smartest people don't just earn more. They protect their time with the same intensity that others protect their money. Because time isn't your most valuable asset. It's the only asset you can never replenish. And here's something fascinating. The next investment protects you every single step of the journey. Literally. Number 7. Quality footwear. There's an old saying. Never be cheap about the things that separate you from the ground. Your tires. Your mattress. And your shoes. At first, it sounds like simple advice. But think about it. Your feet carry you through every meeting, every workout, every vacation, every ordinary Tuesday that quietly becomes part of your life story. A poor quality pair of shoes doesn't just wear out faster. It wears you out faster. Your knees feel it. Your back feels it. Your posture changes. And gradually, you begin avoiding movement without even realizing why. Picture two people walking through the same city. One finishes the day energized. The other can't wait to sit down because every step hurts. The difference might not be motivation. It might simply be what they're wearing. Quality footwear is about more than comfort. It's about preserving your ability to move freely. Because movement is freedom. You don't appreciate painless walking until every staircase becomes a challenge. The irony is that many people spend more researching a new phone than something they'll wear almost every day. But phones become outdated. Healthy joints don't. A good pair of shoes won't change your life overnight, but they'll quietly improve thousands of ordinary days. And sometimes, the biggest improvements happen so gradually, you only notice them when they're missing. Now here's where this list takes an unexpected turn. The next investment isn't something you can see, yet it may completely change how you experience every single day. Number 8. Therapy. 4 years. People believed strength meant staying silent. Handle it yourself. Don't complain. Keep moving. But imagine carrying a backpack. Every disappointment, every fear, every painful memory, every unspoken emotion. Another stone goes inside. At first, it's manageable. Then one day, you can't understand why everything feels so heavy. The weight didn't appear overnight. It accumulated. That's what unresolved emotions often do. Therapy isn't about someone solving your life. It's about finally understanding the story you've been telling yourself. Sometimes the obstacle isn't the world around you. It's the conversation happening inside your own mind. A skilled therapist doesn't hand you a new life. They hand you a new perspective. And perspective changes everything. Relationships improve. Stress becomes manageable. Old patterns finally make sense. Decisions become clearer. Here's something remarkable. People think therapy is expensive because they only see the price of the sessions. They rarely calculate the cost of never healing. Years spent trapped in the same habits. Broken relationships. Constant anxiety. Missed opportunities because fear kept making the decisions. Healing isn't instant. But neither is growing stronger in the gym. Both require consistency. Both require honesty. And both reward those willing to do the difficult work. Because sometimes, the greatest investment you'll ever make is finally becoming someone who no longer has to fight yesterday every single day. But if you think we've already reached the most valuable investments, think again. Because everything we've talked about so far prepares you for the next chapter. The chapter where your money doesn't just improve your life. It begins creating your future. Number 9. A comfortable chair. Take a moment and think about your average day. How many hours do you spend sitting? 1, 3, maybe 8, or even more. Now imagine driving across the country in a car with a broken seat. At first, it's only a little uncomfortable. After a few hours, your back starts aching. By the end of the trip, you're exhausted, not because of the distance, but because your body has been fighting discomfort the entire time. That's exactly what millions of people do every single day. They invest thousands in computers, hundreds in smartphones. But the one thing supporting their body for hours at a time is often the cheapest chair they could find. Discomfort is a silent distraction. It doesn't demand your attention all at once. It steals it slowly. A stiff neck, an aching lower back, shoulders that feel heavier every evening. You think you're tired from work. Sometimes, you're simply tired from sitting badly. A quality chair doesn't make you more intelligent. It doesn't magically make you productive. It simply removes one more obstacle between you and your best work. Think of it like noise in the background. You don't notice how loud it is until someone turns it off. And suddenly, you can focus again. The goal isn't luxury. The goal is sustainability. Because success isn't built during one extraordinary day. It's built during thousands of ordinary ones. And your body has to survive every single one of them. Now here's where this list shifts from protecting your present to creating your future. Number 10. Investing. Imagine two friends. Both are 25 years old. Both earn the same salary. Every month, one spends every extra dollar chasing the newest trends. The other quietly invests a small amount. Nothing dramatic. Nothing flashy. Fast forward 25 years. The first person has memories of purchases that no longer exist. The second has something completely different. Freedom. This is what makes investing so powerful. It rewards patience more than brilliance. People often imagine investing as a game for financial experts. Charts. Numbers. Complicated strategies. But at its core, investing is simple. It's choosing to let today's money build tomorrow's opportunities. Think about planting a tree. The day you plant it, nothing changes. A week later, still nothing impressive. Even months later, it barely looks different. But underground, roots are growing. Slowly, silently. Year after year, those invisible roots become impossible to ignore. We live in a world obsessed with immediate results. Investing teaches the exact opposite lesson. The biggest rewards often belong to those willing to wait. That's true for money. It's true for fitness. It's true for relationships. And it's true for almost everything meaningful in life. Because real wealth isn't measured by what you can buy today. It's measured by how many choices you'll have tomorrow. And speaking of choices, there's one investment that no market crash can ever take away from you. Number 11. Education. When people hear the word education, many immediately think of school. Degrees, exams, classrooms. But education doesn't end the day you graduate. In many ways, that's when it truly begins. Picture two people entering the same industry. One believes they already know enough. The other never stops learning. They read books, take courses, ask questions, listen to mentors, study mistakes. 5 years later, they're no longer competing. They're living in different worlds. Knowledge compounds just like money. One book gives you an idea. That idea changes a habit. The habit changes your results. Those results open new opportunities. And suddenly, one decision to keep learning has transformed your entire future. Here's something fascinating. A single sentence can completely change the direction of someone's life. A lesson learned at the right moment can save years of frustration. That's why education isn't an expense. It's leverage. Nobody can steal what you've learned. Technology changes. Industries evolve. Economies rise and fall. But the ability to think clearly, solve problems, and adapt will always remain valuable. The highest paid people aren't usually those who work the hardest. They're often the ones who solve the hardest problems. And solving better problems begins with learning better ideas. Which brings us to something almost everyone watching this video uses every single day, but very few see as an investment. Number 12, a great laptop. There was a time when a laptop was simply a machine. Today, for millions of people, it's an office, a classroom, a studio, a business, sometimes an entire career. Imagine asking a carpenter to build a house with broken tools. They might finish the job, but every cut takes longer. Every mistake becomes more likely. Every hour becomes more frustrating. Your laptop works the same way. If you're constantly waiting for programs to load, files to save, videos to render, you're not just losing seconds. You're losing momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in productivity. Ideas are fragile. The moment inspiration arrives, you need tools that can keep up. Because creativity has a habit of disappearing while you're staring at a loading screen. A quality laptop isn't about owning the latest model every year. It's about removing friction. The less your tools interrupt you, the more your mind stays focused on creating. Whether you're editing videos, running a business, learning a new skill, or simply managing your daily life, reliable technology quietly gives you something priceless. Flow. That state where hours disappear. Because you're completely immersed in meaningful work. The best tools never become the center of attention. They disappear, leaving only your ideas. But the next 3 investments go even deeper. They're not just about making life easier. They're about changing the way you think, the way you work, and ultimately, the way you live. Number 13. Professional help. There's a sentence that sounds smart. Until life proves it wrong. I'll figure it out myself. There's nothing wrong with being independent. But there's a difference between learning and learning everything the hard way. Imagine hiking through a dense forest. There are dozens of paths. Some lead to breathtaking views. Others lead to dead ends. You could spend years exploring every trail yourself. Or you could walk beside someone who's already reached the summit. That's what professional help really is. It isn't paying for information. It's paying for experience. A good accountant may save you thousands in costly mistakes. A lawyer can prevent a single bad decision from becoming a lifelong problem. A personal trainer can help you avoid months of ineffective workouts. A business coach can point out blind spots you never knew existed. People often focus on what experts charge. Very few calculate what ignorance costs. One mistake can erase years of savings. One piece of good advice can create opportunities you'll benefit from for decades. The most successful people in the world don't succeed because they know everything. They succeed because they know when to ask for help. There comes a point where trying to save money actually becomes the most expensive decision you can make. And speaking of protecting what matters, the next investment isn't about getting more. It's about getting less. Less noise. Less distraction. Less chaos. Number 14. Noise-canceling headphones. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine trying to solve your biggest problem. In the middle of a crowded train station. Announcements echo overhead. Phones ring. People are talking all around you. Could you think clearly? Probably not. Now here's the strange part. Many of us live like that every day. Not because our surroundings are always loud, but because our attention is constantly under attack. Every notification, every conversation, every alert, every interruption pulls your mind in a different direction. And attention is becoming one of the most valuable resources of the modern age. Noise-canceling headphones don't just block sound. They create space. Space to think. Space to write. Space to study. Space to breathe. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough doesn't happen because you work harder. It happens because you finally had enough silence to hear your own thoughts. Think of your mind as a calm lake. When the surface is constantly disturbed, you can't see beneath it. But when the water becomes still, everything becomes clear. In a world competing for every second of your attention, silence has become a luxury. And protecting your focus may be one of the smartest investments you'll ever make. But there's one final investment. One that every item on this list has been quietly leading toward. It's invisible. You can't photograph it. You can't show it off. Yet it changes everything. Number 15. Peace of mind. Imagine waking up tomorrow. No panic. No racing thoughts. No constant pressure to prove yourself. You open your eyes. And instead of worrying about everything that could go wrong, you simply breathe. That's peace of mind. And it may be the rarest form of wealth in the world. People spend years chasing bigger houses, higher salaries, more recognition, believing they'll finally feel secure. But security doesn't always arrive with a bigger paycheck. Sometimes it arrives with an emergency fund, a healthy body, strong relationships, a clear conscience, a life aligned with your values. Here's the beautiful truth. Every investment we've talked about today has been leading here. A quality mattress gives you restful nights. Good health gives you energy. Travel expands your perspective. A home gym builds discipline. Nutritious food strengthens your body. Time-saving tools protect your hours. Quality shoes support every step. Therapy heals invisible wounds. A comfortable chair protects your body while you work. Investing creates future freedom. Education sharpens your mind. A reliable laptop helps you create. Professional help keeps you from costly mistakes. Noise-canceling headphones protect your attention. And together, they build something no luxury brand can sell. A peaceful life. Because peace of mind isn't purchased in one moment. It's built, decision by decision, habit by habit, year after year. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. You won't remember every gadget you bought. You won't remember every trend you followed. But you'll remember how you felt. Whether you had the energy to play with your children. Whether you had the courage to chase your dreams. Whether your body allowed you to explore the world. Whether your mind was calm enough to enjoy the life you worked so hard to build. That's the real return on investment. Money was never the destination. It was the tool. The goal has always been a life that's healthier, wiser, calmer, and more meaningful. Because the richest person in the room isn't always the one with the biggest bank account. Sometimes, it's the one who sleeps peacefully, wakes up excited, has time for the people they love, and doesn't need to escape from the life they've created. That's a form of wealth no market can take away.